The commander of chaos, global disorder, and a president's war of choice, between lies and delusion. The war against Iran cannot be understood through geopolitics alone. To understand it, you need to look inside the Oval Office, at the mind and behavior of the man who ordered it. What emerges from the analyses of journalists, commentators, and political analysts over the past few weeks is a disturbing portrait, not of a strategist, but of a commander of chaos, a president who lives between lies and delusion. Let's understand this story. The first sign of dysfunction is in Trump's own words. He repeatedly claims that the war has already been won. At the same time, he is sending an additional 3,000 Marines to the region. More troops are on the way. As journalist James O'Brien observes, if the war has already been won, why send more troops? The contradiction is not accidental. It is structural. There is no clear objective. Sometimes Trump calls it an operation, sometimes a war. Sometimes he promises regime change. When he talks about regime change, he explains, their leader was killed, another one took over. So if we want, we can kill that one too. In Trump's world, that is regime change. Lawrence O'Donnell of MSNBC summarizes the absurdity with a powerful image. Trump sounds like a spoiled child trying to negotiate his way out of a war he started. The criticism points to a pattern: impulsive decisions followed by desperate attempts at containment. And, as O'Donnell reminds us, thousands of troops cannot win a war against a country of 90 million people. Not even World War II was won without massive coalitions and total mobilization. The idea of absolute control, we will have control over everything we want, is not just unrealistic. It is, in the commentators' words, delusional. But perhaps the most revealing detail comes from revelations about how Trump receives war information. Presidential briefings, according to sources, are conducted with videos of things exploding. Complex information, strategic intelligence, diplomatic analyses, escalation scenarios, is replaced by simplified visual clips. A format that, as officials warn, may be preventing the president from understanding the real picture of the war. He sees explosions. He thinks he is winning. But he does not understand what is happening. Jesse Dollemore, another analyst, goes even further. He says, none of this makes sense. All of this should be very alarming to the world. And he completes, without mincing words, he is not fit, certainly not the commander-in-chief. Here, the criticism transcends politics and enters the realm of cognitive capacity. Trump talks about secret gifts from Iran that he cannot reveal. He confuses terms. He changes narratives in real time. He contradicts statements made minutes earlier. In one particularly emblematic passage, he says, "They gave us a gift, but I'm not going to tell you what it is." The statement would be laughable were it not for the context: a war involving one of the most strategic regions on the planet. While the rhetoric fluctuates, concrete effects accumulate. The Strait of Hormuz, vital for global oil flow, has become the stage for a silent evolution. As we showed in the previous video, Iran now charges $2 million per tanker crossing the strait, in cryptocurrency, converted into yuan. Trump promised to open the strait. What he achieved was that the strait was closed to American ships and transformed into a source of revenue for Iran. As one analyst observes, Trump is trying to achieve something that existed before the war: free navigation. Congratulations, Mr. President. Trump's erosion is not only external. It reverberates within the United States. Last Saturday, March 28th, more than 9 million people took to the streets to protest against Trump, over 3,000 cities across all 50 states. Opinion polls show the president's approval rating is now between 33% and 38%. Discontent is widespread, and the November elections are approaching. If this contingent shows up at the polls, the Republican defeat could be overwhelming, and without control of Congress, Trump's impeachment becomes a real possibility. The war that was supposed to unite the country has become a catalyst for internal division. The convergence of analyses is impressive. From different voices, journalists, commentators, analysts, a common diagnosis emerges. Strategic incoherence, discursive contradiction, permanent improvisation, compulsive lying, possible cognitive deterioration. And perhaps the harshest and most revealing sentence is this one, repeated by more than one analyst. We have a delusional president, and that is now an observable fact. When this assessment is no longer marginal and is repeated by major American commentators, the problem is no longer rhetorical. It is systemic. Trump's war against Iran is not just an international conflict. It is a mirror. It reflects a leadership crisis, institutional erosion, the transformation of politics into spectacle, where decisions are driven by impulses, fragile perceptions, and fabricated narratives. Meanwhile, the world watches. The Strait of Hormuz is under Iranian control. American bases have been destroyed. The American economy bleeds with inflation, and the commander of chaos, sitting in the Oval Office, says he is bored with the war he started. What do you think? Is Trump mentally fit to command a war? Leave your opinion in the comments. Don't forget to follow the channel. Leave your like. See you next time.